A new report showing Reverend Al Sharpton, when speaking at public universities and colleges that are funded by taxpayers, well, he demands apparently first-class flights, upscale hotels, bodyguards, chauffeurs from those institutions. Wow. Sharpton, of course, gives the government more than, well, he doesn't give them. He owes the government more than $4 million, and I don't know how they've got that all squared away with those tax dollars. But joining us now, National Review's investigative reporter, Jillian K. Melcher. She wrote the Sharpton report. The Accountability Project's co-founder, political strategist Naomi Kantz. Good to have you with us. And Fox News contributor and contributing editor for the National Review Online, DeRoy Murdoch. Good to see you.
Thank you.
First of all, the report, fascinating, and to put all of those burdens on the universities, I have to say my first reaction to that is, what in the world are those universities doing with taxpayer dollars that spend money like that?
I completely agree with you on this. I mean, this is somebody who's demanding a rock and roll lifestyle, and I think it's a little bit...
Well, he did associate with James Brown.
He did. It's a little bit hypocritical. You know, I mean, he owes up to $4.5 million in taxes, penalties. And another thing interesting I found digging through these emails is, you know, 5 of his businesses at this point have been dissolved for failure to pay taxes, tax noncompliance. He's opened up a new one.
A new one?
A new one. So I think it'll be telling whether or not he manages to pay taxes this time around.
Well, maybe he's just building on previous success.
Perhaps.
So, thanks so much. Naomi, your thoughts about this?
You know, this man...
This man, after all, is an advisor to the president.
I agree, and I think that he's turned into a puppet master of the Democratic Party. And I'm a Democrat, and personally, I think it's dangerous for any Democratic candidates to affiliate with him when his optics, when the message he's sending out is clearly that he doesn't respect the government, he doesn't respect taxpayers, and he's so disconnected from reality. He might represent movements, and that's all good and fine. But when you're living this rock star lifestyle, you're not representing the people that you're supposed to be, you know, speaking on behalf of.
Well, disconnected from reality, that sounds like a qualifier for life in Washington, D.C. Dory, your thoughts?
Well, you look at, go back and look at a great moral leader like Martin Luther King Jr. You look at the place where that man was killed, the Lorraine Motel, living a very simple lifestyle. I believe he rented his homes. It's 50 years later. I don't think we necessarily expect Al Sharpton to live the life of Gandhi. But if you're going to be a spokesman for America's poor and downtrodden, I don't think you should be demanding to be in the presidential suite, flying around on private jets, getting your SUV and your whole staff taken care of and all that. We could expect a little more humility from someone like that, given who it is he's supposed to be.
Well, let's turn to what is the administration's assault on police, on law enforcement in this country. We're starting to see a trend here that's you simply cannot deny, that since August and all that has followed, we've seen tick in assaults. Statistically, we have seen it in our front pages of our newspapers, on television. What do you think the administration is responsible for here? What should they be doing?
You know, I would really like to see them doing a better job, bringing people together, uniting. And I think that the president is in a position to do that, but hasn't done a very good job on that. It's falling to people like Al Sharpton. And, you know, I really do feel like right now we need a civil rights leader. Obama is not doing a good job at it. Al Sharpton is not a man of unimpeachable character. I just see a leadership deficit here.
Your thoughts?
I couldn't agree more. I mean, there are some leaders in New York specifically. There are a few emerging leaders who have come out, like Eric Adams, who's the Brooklyn borough president. He was a former NYPD officer. He is an elected official, and he can speak on behalf of the
hardly
citizens.
A substitute for a president and nationally known figures. One hopes that he will become that in service to people. Your thoughts, Leroy?
Given that Officer Wilson has been exonerated, we heard this man was a racist white cop who shot Michael Brown just because he's a bigot, or maybe it was good target practice. I think Obama Holder and Sharpton should apologize to Darren Wilson, apologize to his family, apologize to the people of Ferguson, and apologize particularly the business owners who had their enterprises burned to the ground.
How about apologizing just simply for lying?
And apologize for lying about this. And not saying, let's get the facts, let's wait and see. They came out right away. This guy's basically a Klansman with a badge. Turns out not at all to be the case.
And what else is not the case? The hands up raised, don't shoot.
That's right.
It has become part of pop culture, and it is absolutely erroneous according to all of the testimony and conclusions of the grand jury.
And the Justice Department.
Even the
Eric Holder's Justice Department said hands up, don't shoot, didn't happen.
Yeah. What did happen here is something fascinating, and the Senate is investigating it. And I'm talking about the U.S. presidency perhaps intruding on an election minister in Israel. Your reaction to that, what do you think should be the reaction of the American people?
Well, I'm a little bit surprised to hear that news because I thought that the whole reason that Obama wasn't meeting with Netanyahu is that he didn't want to meddle in this election.
How about that?
This is deeply disturbing, and I know you can barely contain the shock.
I'm incredulous.
Dobby?
Listen, it's no secret.
You get to carry that Democratic banner on this one.
I'm going to differ a little bit here. We all know, anybody who works in politics knows that as soon as you finish up an election, the way to make money is to do consulting. And these are former political consultants that also work in other races in the United States that make a lot more money doing international elections. So is that directly connected to the president? No. Of course, they used to work for the president.
What may be directly, I know it's an accident. It's a simple mere coincidence that 5 of his former operatives who operate for him still happen to be in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem.
They also are operating for Hillary Clinton, and they're not big fans of Hillary Clinton either.
Well, they certainly...
Well, how ecumenical of them. We are we're prepared to absolve them of violating U.S. law had they done so.
Well, they went over
Not
there.
Really.
They're perfectly free to go and support whoever they want. But $350,000 of our money has gone over there to try to hurt Bibi. And I hope what the Israeli voters do is say, look, don't mess with Israel. Put Bibi Netanyahu back in, and that'll, I hope, send a clear message to Obama that he should stop behaving this way.
Well,
stop his double dealing.
It's going to be interesting to see what the judgment of the Israeli people is. Thank you very much. Good to see you.